We've got a high-flying interview in the latest edition of Hey Amarillo. Skylar Gallup in to talk about Sonia Clark. And for anybody that's done any leadership classes, or I feel like she's been in just a little bit of everything, and she has got quite a story to tell.
I love her. I have loved her from afar as a really amazing female leader in our community, and I loved the opportunity to sit down with her and pick at her brain and kind of glean a little bit as to like where she sharpened some of those skills. Sonia is, so she's the site leader at Bell Helicopter. So she's a big dog at Bell, which is like in and of itself like really
Big
cool.
deal.
Yeah. And we spent some time in the interview talking about Bell and its history. Like all of the Hueys were built in Amarillo by Bell. The Huey's like the Vietnam helicopter. So it's just like stuff like that, and talking to her about, her work with Bell as it contributes to the national security of our nation, which is pretty amazing, and some of the technological advances. That's a thing that I didn't realize. Whenever I think about Bell, and maybe this is general, I think about it as a manufacturing of helicopters. Yeah. They're making the technology out there with vendors and partners and stuff, but like whatever the Army says, here's what we need for the next iteration of helicopter.
Bell makes it happen.
They figured, so I thought that was really cool and not something. And so we talk about Bell. What I really enjoyed, and it's what I wanted to visit with Sonia about, was her journey through her professional career.
Because she went to WT and probably did not see that on the horizon because she was in a completely different career. Talk about how she, kind of the career path that she got to get to Bell.
Yeah, she got a nursing degree from WT and was working in healthcare. She was a labor and delivery nurse for a while, which I think is really an interesting experience in and of itself. And it kind of made her wanted to go into admin. I think she didn't quite say it in this way, but she knew that she needed to be a leader. She needed to be in leadership positions, and so started etching her way over there. Worked into HR, and then hopped over to Bell 20 years ago now, and worked her way up through Bell. We talk a lot about her experience as a woman at a table where not many women sat before her or with her. And one of the things I love about Sonia in this interview and in general is she tells it like it is. And so she talks about some of those struggles very candidly. She talks about learning lessons or looking out for yourself whenever, or maybe not looking out for yourself because you're assuming other people are going to, or would have done this thing a little bit different had I known. And she just lays it out there. And then I think the mark of a true leader is she turns around and holds that door open. And Sonia does that in our community in a really beautiful way. And it's a fun conversation. And a lot of takeaways, I think, from her conversation.
She talked about how, I'm curious how she does it all, because not only is she such a paramount person out at Bell Helicopter, locally she gives back, she's involved in multiple different things, and she just has made such a mark on the nonprofit community here in our area.
I think she's, I asked her, I think in the frame of reference of her work at Bell, like how do you, that's a lot. And she, again, is like, well, you learn a lot of it along the way. And also she really intentionally continues to develop herself and, goes through coaching and training and is invested. And I think that is part of what Sonia has determined is her job at Bell, both as site leader, but Bell is it's one of our largest employers. It's a huge staple in the community, in our economy, and so I think she recognizes that it's her role, and I think she'd probably say, and her right to turn around and really give into the community, because she's in all of the real. I mean, she's all over the place in really meaningful ways. She's not just phoning them in.